Yay, let's get started.
It's cool though. It's cool though.
It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to, step to, step to, step to, step to. Frickin', baby girl. What would you do to get to me? What would you say to have your way? We don't say this.
I feel like we sing.
First you don't succeed, first you don't succeed.
Yes, we did sing this last episode.
You can dust it off and try again. Dust the shelf off and try again.
The shelf off? Dust the shelf off?
Sometimes you gotta dust those shelves off. They get dusty.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat. Step two, step two, step two, step two, step two, step two. Pick it. It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat. Step two, step two, step two, step two, step two. Pick it, baby girl.
What would you do to get to me? What would you say to have your way? Would you give up or try again? If I hesitate to let you in, now would you be yourself or play a role?
Today's scripture
Tell all the boys
from
I'll
2
keep it.
Timothy chapter 1 verse 7. For God has not given you the spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. That is coming from with all the chaos that is going on in today's world. Everyone is freaking out and is operating in high anxiety and worry and fear. And we just want to remind everyone that we need to operate in power, in love, and in a sound mind. And remember that God is with us through everything. And to seek His wisdom and understanding and guidance in all that we do. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. You're tuned into
We Ain't Perfect
with your host,
I'm Aris.
and Alisha.
You're the girl I never met, and
Oh gosh, you just messed up the whole thing.
I'm sorry. You threw me off at the you are the girl that I always knew. No,
You're the girl I never had.
I knew it was a verb.
Lord.
It was a verb, and I was meditating on the verb, but it wasn't coming to me. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna just throw one out there. We're gonna see what happens.
And just throw the whole song off. It's okay, because you over here talking about who you calling the U-N-I-T-Y.
Is that what you have been waiting to say? That is that what you've been waiting to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unity is great. Don't be hating. Just because I have a beret and it's not raspberry.
They don't know that.
They don't know raspberry beret?
Probably not.
The kind that you get from a secondhand store?
She's silly. But moving on.
So we're gonna start off with things that you're meditating on this week. What are you Well, actually, what have we been meditating on?
Meditating on.
Yes, the world is meditating on fear.
I just want to go out and go to the grocery store and just buy a week's worth of food. That's how I want to live my life.
Alisha was trying to live her life this week.
For the week, I'm just trying to get some food for the week.
Alicia was, I think I'll go for a walk outside now. And then they were like, no, get back in your house. There's disease out here.
I'm just out here trying to live my day today.
The thing is that today, this week has been really a week about, being healthy, being you, and not succumbing to the national fear that they're trying to push on us, right?
Right.
But that also leads me right into what's happening in the church, which is mad talk about should you or should you not go to church.
I think that it is all based on the leading that God is giving you. I don't think it's right or wrong to cancel services, and that is a big debate throughout the week. Like people trying to say, oh, Christians are supposed to be walking by faith, not by fear. But you are also seeking God's wisdom and guidance in all things that you are doing. So if you have a huge church and God is calling for you to not have the church open today, then there's probably a reason why God has placed it in your spirit to not have services today, because maybe somebody that is in your service is actually sick and they don't know it yet. So people are not really thinking about these type of things when it comes to whether or not you should open or close your church. People are not using, well, I would say, I would hope most pastors are using wisdom when they make their decision, wisdom from God. But I think that a lot of people that don't know how to operate in God and seek God, they're
scared.
Not. Yeah, and then they're trying to say, oh, well, you're not walking by faith. Well, it's a lot of things that come with walking by faith. You have to seek God and understand who is talking to you, whether it's the enemy or God. You have to be led by God in all things that you do. So opening up your church depends on what God has led you to do.
Well, I know that we're in the Michigan Metro Detroit area. What up, though? And of course, some pastors are sending out like voicemail messages to their members saying, you know, oh, we don't walk in fear. Come to church. It is safe to come outside and come to church. There are some pastors that are, you know, having more services, multiple services, so that more people can come to one or the other. And there was a pastor on TV, our local channels, talking about we need people to come to church so they can pay their tithes.
You can send your tithe money.
Oh my! like that's the reason why you want people to come. People should be coming to church to get the word to get healed and delivered.
Right.
But he's talking about, we need them to come and give up that money. That is what we need right now. So
that's crazy.
It's a variety of messages going out, but the main message that Christians should be having in the church is, don't be afraid. Like, we don't walk in fear.
The main message that should be, to me, I get what you're saying, don't be afraid, don't walk in fear, but I think the main message should be seek God. Seek God in all things that you're doing. You know, if you're seeking God and God has given you
a revelation
to go out and do something, then go ahead and do it. Don't walk in fear. If he's spoken to you and said, we need to close up the doors, then that's what you got to do, because God knows all things. God knows who in the congregation is sick and ain't about to tell nobody. Right. So I think in all things, the most important thing to remember is seek God and rest in God's peace and understanding and guidance, you know?
Yeah, I just feel like Alisha and I were out and about in the world recently, and I feel like America has this huge issue, or they're having this huge thing with coronavirus right now. Like, when we were in South America, it wasn't as huge as it is here.
It wasn't.
And I mean, even to the point where it's always on the news and people dying and, you know, people sick and, you know, all of that stuff is happening, and it's just here. Like, people are so fixated on it. And I think that one of the things that church people should be doing that they're not doing is standing on faith and speaking their faith and walking in their faith. And they are just like everybody else, running to the grocery store and buying out all the toilet paper.
Does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. Like, of all the things, like, now listen, now here's the thing. So you're running to the store, you're buying out all the toilet paper, but you also have hot water and washcloths at your house. I hope you got washcloths. Maybe you ain't got washcloths.
You can take
Maybe that's why.
You can take a dump and then get in the shower. I'm just saying.
I mean, there's other ways. Like,
I'm just saying.
And if you're buying out all the toilet paper, why aren't you buying out all the wet wipes? Like,
why you ain't got no soap?
It's very confusing times.
Super.
Anyhow, let's move on to what's going on in the world. And we're going to make this quick because there's a lot of stuff happening in the world. And also, we were gone for a few days. So,
a few days.
I don't exactly know everything. But from last time we were supposed to have a podcast, there was a story about a 19-year-old Instagram model named Aaliyah Jasmine. And she deleted all of her Instagram pics because someone leaked out pictures of her before her transition to female. and she had like 500,000 followers and was known for wearing lingerie. Like, that's what she was known for. And then when people found out that she used to be a boy, like, all these thirsty dudes who was on her IG talking about some, oh, you're so beautiful, I wish I could be with you, yada, yada, yada. Now they're angry.
I mean, is there a question in this?
No, it's just a statement. The fact is that they're just angry.
I believe that, well, if you, see, this is a touchy subject. It's like a fine line, because it's like on one end, it's like people deserve to know, but at the same time,
right,
you don't have to disclose unless that you are about to be in a relationship with that person.
Right.
So if they were just thirsty and DMing her and she wasn't talking to them and ignoring them, then okay, she didn't have to disclose. But if she actually talked to any of those people that DM'd her, she should have responded like, hey, I'm a dude. If you cool with that, then
you know, be like, let's meet up.
We can do whatever. Right. You know, so it's like, on one hand, it's like, you should disclose, but at the same time, it's like, it's your life, it's your private life. But if you are accepting messages or gifts or anything from the same sex,
yeah, and I mean, and they don't know,
right? And they don't know that you're really a boy, and they're thinking they're talking to a female. Then you should disclose, like, hey, I'm really a dude. And I think that needs to be some type of law for that, because I feel like that cuts down on a lot of people
doing hate crimes. Because the first thing dudes want to do is then they
get mad.
Oh, now I gotta beat you up or whatever, and you're like, dude, number one, you didn't check for the extra hardware down below.
They're not thinking like that.
You just looking at these. You knew it was plastic up front, so. Like,
look,
if she bought
everything plastic. Sometimes I think that stuff real.
I clock fake boobs like I clock lace fronts. I'd be like, ooh, lace front, ooh, fake boobs. Like, we were going past some lady in Brazil, and she had the fakest set of boobs, and I was like, now, sis. Now, you know.
They just outrageously big.
It wasn't that. Like,
but sometimes
fake boobs sit over here. It's like they sit, like.
That is true.
They like cross-eyed. They over there. Natural boobs are going to sit like straight down. Sometimes they hang low. Sometimes they hang medium. Sometimes they up. But the fake ones be like, dang. They ain't meeting. They don't touch.
That's funny.
So, like, a lot of times you could tell by that. Sometimes they look really natural, but every so often you'll be like, oh, no, those are fake, sweetie. I checked it. And I can tell the fake booty, too. You can always check. If the thighs do not match the behind, it's fake. It ain't real. It's bought. And some dudes like some dudes like store-bought cakes. I mean,
store-bought cakes.
I mean, every once in a while a Kroger cake is good, but you want that homemade cake because it's going to be moist, it's going to be good, it's going to be luscious. You don't want the store-bought one. Sure, it's going to be dry. Ain't got no sugar in it. It's like, I don't want that store-bought cake.
Like your gluten-free cake?
No, I make that at home. It might have been a little flat, but it was homemade. Don't be fronting.
That's funny.
So, let's move on. The biggest story, aside from the coronavirus, which has taken over everything, is Andrew Gilliam. Have you heard about that?
No. I don't know who that is.
Okay. Andrew Gilliam is this dude. He's most popularly known because he was running to be something. Was it the mayor of Florida? Yes. He was running the mayor of Miami. Florida governor. Okay.
He is in Florida.
No, he's just a candidate.
Tallahassee mayor turned Florida governor.
Yes. So he was running to be the governor of Florida.
Former Tallahassee mayor.
Yes.
Turned Florida governor. Candidate. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
He was running to be the mayor of Florida. I'm sorry. Would you like a better
Governor.
Yes, the
He was
governor
running to
of
be
Florida.
governor.
He was trying to be the governor. Governor. Oh. Governor. He was trying to be the governor of Florida, and I think, a lot of black people were pushing for him because he had great ideas. He had, some great policy, and they wanted someone of color in there, to take a stand, etc., etc. Well, he was recently found in a hotel in Miami with a gay stripper, meth. What is the name for meth? Amphetamines? Crystal meth is what I'm thinking of. And he was also found with one other man. Crystal meth is what they cook up.
Crystal meth is crackheads?
No. It's what white trash people use. Why would you say that? Oh, I shouldn't say that. Crystal meth is what people cook up. But Jesus. Okay, and we're back.
Oh snap! Crystal meth is what who uses?
People
Low poor people. Bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, poor people, and typically cooked up in trailer parks.
Okay.
Yikes. Thanks for staying with us, guys. We really appreciate it. Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness! You know you could have just said PTW.
Thanks for staying with us. I want to love you.
PYT.
Pretty young. That's not what we're talking about, though. All right, so the Miami Police Department reported that they were called to a distress scene happening in Florida in a Miami hotel. And there was this really beefy guy named Travis, and they were coming because he had possibly had a drug overdose. Travis is allegedly the male stripper. They were aware that actually the former the former governor of Florida, Andrew Gillium, was in the bathroom thrown up because he had been drunk. There was a third guy that was there, and he was the one who rented the hotel room. And he said that, he knew Andrew, and he was, I guess, acquainted with the stripper as well. The thing is that once they got everybody out, they found 3 small bags of crystal meth on the bed and on the floor. And they couldn't confirm with Gilliam, if he had it or not, because he didn't say anything, because he was throwing up and he was drunk. So Andrew Gilliam actually came out. He was in consideration for vice president, to be on the vice president tickets. So Andrew Gilliam put a statement out and said, he was in Miami.
They set him up.
Wait, we're going to get to that. He said he was in Miami with a friend, and they went to a wedding, and he got super drunk, and he never used any methamphetamines, and he apologized to all the people for, being drunk in Miami. Mm-hmm. And so the thing is, black people don't really do crystal meth, though. No, it's not one of them things that, now, if you had said it was crack on the bed, okay, maybe, possibly. If you had said it was weed all over the place, probably. That's about up the alley. Mm-hmm. If you had said they had bottles of lean.
It's a 40 ounce.
Bottles of lean, yes. That's quite something that they might have been doing. But crystal meth, though, that's hard to believe.
Especially somebody that's a former mayor.
Or somebody who is possibly in consideration for being a vice president. They were heavily considering him to run on the vice president ticket. Crazy. So for him,
they might have put no full blown black person on the ticket. That's why they. I feel like that's conspiracy theory all the way. All the way. Conspiracy.
So,
Who is that?
this is the gay stripper dude.
What?
That's the gay stripper dude. So,
What
the thing is that...
He looks deformed. Is that a ring or something? He looks deformed.
Yeah. The thing is, the stripper dude came out with a statement that said, I was not in Florida for a wedding. I don't know if Andrew was there for a wedding. He did not mention that to me. And end quote. And
well, that doesn't matter. They weren't together the whole time. So how would he know what he was doing prior to?
So, but that just was used to discredit Gilliam.
Right.
That's exactly what that was for. And to me, of all the things, it was like, crystal meth though? Okay, so everybody on Twitter has been talking about it, and like they're like, nope, this definitely a setup. They trying to set.
It sounds like a
They trying to set him up. They trying to set him up because they don't want
him on the
ticket. And he made a whole lot of people mad in Florida because he got so many votes to be the governor of Florida that a lot of people were like, we can't have a black man be our governor. So anyhow, in other news.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird because it's something where you feel in your guts like we rolling. So in other news, coronavirus has canceled everything that we know and that we actually want to see. The Real Housewives.
They're not filming.
No, they're not doing the reunion. They postponed that. All NBA games
canceled.
Any other like sporting events, hockey, concerts,
everything is closed except for the casino.
Yes. The NCAA, there was this big huge NCAA thing that was about to happen. It was called
the wrestling stuff.
The wrestling stuff I think is still on.
No, everything is
They canceled it?
Yeah. Like I said, everything is canceled and shut down except for the casinos and the grocery store, of course.
Yeah.
But there's really no food left in the grocery store.
So facts. They got to restock. Anyhow, moving on. Before we went on break, one of the big stories was Megan Thee Stallion was talking about how she's still in school for health administration and her GPA is a 2.7. And a lot of people were going in on her like, sis, you can't get a 3.0. Sis, you ain't even got no 3.0. What you doing? You got a 2.7. But sis is out here in these streets going like touring, hanging, getting her bags up, getting her money up, going to the studio, taking care of family. Her mama died and like somebody else died. And she's still in school. Like, sis is getting it. Like, why is y'all so mad? Y'all is bitter.
Bitter.
Y'all is bitter, Betty.
Bitter.
So that happened.
That's stupid.
That was ridiculous. Alisha, are you aware that Kenny Lattimore is no longer married to Shantae Moore?
Yes.
You were aware?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Do you know who he married?
No.
There is a judge on the Judge shows. Her name is Judge Faith. And Kenny Lattimore just married her. When did they get divorced?
A while ago.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's been a while.
I always thought it was so cute because they was both real light-skinned and they was together.
Real light-skinned. That's funny.
Mm-hmm. And they both, their last name was Moore.
I know. That was pretty cool. But it's been a while.
So I am going to see if we can't pull this up. The last story that we're going to put out here is...
The baby.
Yeah. No, not the baby. This is a 4-year-old girl was getting her dreadlocks done by her hairdresser. And she looked into the camera and said, I'm ugly. I'm so ugly. And everybody was like, oh my gosh. Cause she was for real. She's a little dark-skinned girl. She looks in the camera and says, I'm so ugly. And the hairdresser just was like, no, you are beautiful. Don't you say that. You're black and you're beautiful and you got the cutest dimples and you got this beautiful face and your skin color is so beautiful. You're chocolate. You're so gorgeous. It is so sad to see that happen because the little girl, She's not an ugly little girl. She's a little chocolate girl.
The reality of that situation is that is how a ton of dark-skinned women grew up thinking.
Feeling.
Feeling. That's how a ton of us grew up feeling because
we're darker and we're made to feel like
the world lets us know that we are dark. The world always puts that in. Oh, you have pretty hair to be so dark, to be dark skinned. Oh, you look cute to be dark skinned. Like, the world does not let you forget that your skin is dark. And that's a shame. It really is.
A lot of women came to her defense. And I don't know if we should say this for Girl Talk, but a lot of women came to her defense, and it was so beautiful seeing so many women say, "You are so beautiful. Our black women are so beautiful. Dark-skinned women are still just as beautiful." It's one of the things that's been programmed.
That has to be a thing, though, for you to say you are beautiful, even with your dark skin, you are beautiful. That is, like, to me, that is so sad that people have to say, even with your dark skin, you are beautiful. Like, you are just beautiful, period. Yeah. You are beautiful. Who you are inside and out, you are beautiful.
Yeah. It's a hard thing because when you grow up with the skin that you're in, you are taught, when you grow up with darker skin, let me put it that way, you are taught that lighter is righter and darker is bad. And that is not just, that's not just here in America. That's
everywhere.
That's all over. We'll talk more about that in Girl Talk. How, being the darker one in like another country, how that works out. But it's painful because you don't feel like you're accepted, and you feel like you're always on the wrong side of things, and you feel like you're trapped trying to make yourself appear lighter, or like, I refuse to tan personally. I do not want to tan. And that comes from having that mentality. The darker you get, the worse you're going to look, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I refuse to tan because I just don't like, I'm comfortable with the way my skin is now. It's not because I feel like if I get darker, I'm not going to be as pretty. I just don't want to be super dark.
But the not wanting to be super dark comes from somewhere.
I get what you're saying, but in the same, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, it's just like, it's not really that deep to me. It's just, I'm comfortable where I'm at. And I want to be how I am. I done got used to how I am. And you know how, like, say you get a haircut and, it's still your hair, but it don't look right on you. Like, certain hairstyles don't look right on you. That's how I feel. It's not because I'm against being darker because it's dark skin. It's just certain, I feel like some people that's light skinned, they might have been cuter if they were darker. Have you ever seen somebody that's light skinned that, hey, you might be cuter if you were darker?
I don't think I ever thought that, but I've seen some people who are light skinned. I'm like, ooh, honey, all that yellow is not your shade.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you need a different shade too. That's what I'm saying.
You either need to go up or down.
Right. That's basically what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if I go up a couple of more notches, then it's gonna be like, ooh, what's going on, Alisha?
Well, let's move on. We're gonna save the rest of that for Girl Talk. And just something really fun. In Atlanta, there was a man who is in a convenience store beating a woman after she refuses to turn tricks because of the coronavirus.
He was beating her in the store.
Cause she eventually said, "Okay, I'll go get your money."
Listen, like, y'all pimps. This is your inventory. This is your inventory, dude. Y'all need to be careful with your inventory. You need to be taking precautions with your inventory.
These pimps out here trying to get their money, and these hoes is like, look, I ain't tricking because coronavirus.
You stupid. But for real, y'all, you have to take care of your inventory. Like, you can't send your inventory out there just for $5. You are to go out there for $5 and then you can't even use her no more. Like, for real. Like, on the real, you shouldn't be doing it in the first place. But
if you got to,
if you have to, and if that's what you're doing, and if y'all are taking orders from these pimps, I don't know how that works.
It's not McDonald's. Like, they ain't taking no orders. It ain't a drive-through.
This, but y'all just gotta be cautious about what's going on. You know, you can't send your inventory out there and get sick and then pollute all their other stock. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Alisha, for your commentary. Cause I'm like, I don't know. Are we gonna do inventory counts?
They do checks. They do inventory checks. They check that. They count the hoes. They count the hoes.
Okay, y'all. Let's move on. So we're gonna go to my favorite part, which is wine of the day.
Aris out here buying dessert wine. What is she thinking? I really don't know.
I saw this. I started to get some ice wine. Thank you. I started to get some ice wine, and then I was like, let me get this. Tell the people what we have, Alisha, while I try it.
Oh, is this Michigan rice?
It is. It's called Dolce.
I'm sorry, I forgot to.
It is a Michigan apple dessert wine. I definitely do not like the smell of it. The taste, it almost tastes like Prosecco.
Prosecco.
Not my actual favorite.
The smell is horrible.
Yeah, the smell is god-awful. It smells like a white wine.
I feel like they poured a bottle of alcohol in it. Like rubbing alcohol. They poured a bottle of rubbing alcohol in here.
So it says it's a gently sweet dessert wine with a kick. Made with the state-grown Fuji and Mutsu apples.
I don't like it.
The Moffat family. Alisha does not like it. It's okay. It says dessert wine. It's definitely a white wine.
Maybe if I had some ice cream. Maybe if I had a brownie or some ice cream or some apple pie.
I'm going to turn your mic off. So, this is not my favorite. But it's drinkable.
Maybe I would lie.
Oh, okay. Look at you there. All right, now. Get it, Alicia. How do you feel about it? Other than you don't like it.
What else is there to feel? I don't like it.
Does it taste like white wine to you?
White wine? Like what kind of white wine? Like a Chardonnay?
No.
Riesling?
It tastes like, like a Riesling, like a sweet Riesling.
See a Riesling, yeah.
It tastes just like a sweet Riesling. It's not floral, but it's definitely fruity.
Yeah.
It's definitely nasty. Fruity, but they say it's sweet.
I don't like that.
And it's not super sweet.
I pick up some sweetness on it, but I just feel like they poured a whole bottle of rubbing alcohol in it.
It's definitely not smooth.
And smashed up some apples in there. And it was like, all right, this is what y'all got.
I feel like it's definitely not smooth. I think we're used to, one of the reasons why I like imports is because a lot of times they're much, much more smoother. And so this is a Michigan.
Smooth operator. Coast to coast, LA to Chicago.
Christ. So Alicia's had one too many cups.
I haven't even finished the little bit that I poured.
It's weird because I thought for sure we would like it. But if you haven't heard, we will be sponsoring a wine giveaway. In order to enter, you would need to actually follow us on Instagram.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Put your name at the bottom in the comments that you subscribe. And then we would draw.
We will do a drawing in the month of April.
The end of April.
Alicia's birthday month.
That is not my birthday month.
But in the end of April, we'll do a drawing on the names that we see. So you only need to enter once, and then we will put a hat in, and we'll put the names in, and we'll shake up the drumsticks or whatever that is, and then we will do a drawing. Yay! And then we'll pick a winner, and the winner will receive 3 bottles of our favorite wines. And I hope you like sweet, because we do.
You will have at least one that's not sugary.
Yes.
Because mine are sugary.
So you'll get one fave pick from Alisha, one fave pick from me, and one that we really like together.
Yeah.
And it'll be a mix of reds and whites, and you'll be happy and you'll enjoy it.
You'll live your life. Yeah. So, you know, the one thing that they did not run out of at the grocery store was wine. And do you know who bought a ton of wine?
Was it Alisha?
Yes, it was me.
It was Alisha.
I stocked up on some wine. I did indeed.
All right now. So we're going to move it on ahead and go right into... I don't want to really talk about what we're watching because we really haven't been watching anything.
Oh, no. See,
we have been...
I came back home and I started watching TV.
Oh, you started watching TV?
I did indeed.
What did you start watching?
I watched Altered Carbon. Yeah. On Netflix. It's a Netflix original. It's a sci-fi show.
Oh, I do enjoy sci-fi.
It's the first season is a little bit TV mature, very TV mature. The first season, I was just like, oh my goodness, do y'all have to have all of these scenes? But once you get past the scenes of the nonsense, it's very interesting. It's about the world. People not really dying, saving your conscience to like a computer type disk, and so you don't have to really die. You know what I mean?
You don't have to hurt no more.
Gosh. So people don't die in the future. If you have enough credit, if you have enough money, they would buy credits. So if you had enough money, you can buy enough backups to where if you were shot or you injured yourself, all you had to do was get another, they call the bodies sleeves. You could buy another sleeve, or if you were rich, you can have a clone made, a sleeve, and it's like a shell, and you can insert the disc, and it'll have your stored conscience on that disc, and so people really didn't die, and that was the gist of it. But it was pretty cool. It's like action, a bunch of action packed, because I like action stuff, and it was like a lot of action scenes in there. I liked it. It was cool. But I did start watching this new series called Queen Sono.
Oh, I was going to watch that. I put that in my list to watch on Netflix.
I think that as black women, that is an excellent show for us to watch. It's about a black South African spy. She's a spy.
No.
And how many movies out here feature us as spies? Right? Y'all should watch it. It's good. Watch it. I mean, it's not your top of the line type of series, but
is it Nollywood? No, it's not Nollywood because it's South African.
South African, but it's
Nollywood is. Now you want to talk about funny,
but it's still good. I liked it. I only saw one episode so far because that's what I started watching after I what's the word? After I did all of the Arthur Carbon. What do you call that?
Binge.
Yes, after I binge watched Arthur Carbon, I started that last night, so I only got through one episode because I was tired from all the Altered Carbon that I watched, but I like it.
I just want to point out that I just got my whole entire life to You Don't Have to Hurt No More by Mint Condition. Shout out to Stokely. Thank you. Continue.
That is all that I have for what to watch. I don't have anything else. Besides me trying to catch up on like the unicorn and single parents and
I saw you in Single
Blackish.
Parents.
Huh?
I saw you watching Single Parents. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, she watching Single Parents.
And stuff like that. That's all I have for what to watch.
So check out Queen Sona. I have a feeling it's about to be a banger. I can't wait to watch it. Although I'm hella busy, I don't have no time. For Girl
School
Talk.
is canceled.
Well, school is canceled for you, not for me.
Did they contacted you already with online stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, they have not
I
contacted
have
me
all
yet.
my classes are online.
They haven't contacted me yet.
And so we're gonna see how this is gonna work. But we want for Girl Talk. I would love to talk about being black and abroad.
Oh.
Recently, as you know, Alisha and I went to.
Can I just insert one thing?
Sure.
Though? Mother Flo, I hate her. That is all.
See now, wait. First, we're being black and broads, and we're abroad. So I just want to point out that if you feel like that is what's about to happen to you, you know what I do? I go ahead and give me a couple pills, and I keep it popping.
And see, some people don't do pills like me.
Cause she a sucker.
Not a sucker. What is that? I rebuke that in the name of Jesus.
What, being a sucker?
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, for real though, like I don't really have the issues that most of y'all out here have with the cramps and stuff. Like the only issue I have is like the food. I need like certain foods in my life, and sometimes I just need downtime. And then it's like when you're trying to like travel, when you're traveling, you don't really want to take that downtime because you're traveling and you want to go out.
You want to have the most time.
Right.
Like you want to like live your life. I think while we were out, we did a whole day where we slept in. Like the whole day. We literally slept in. We were in Peru.
Yes, we were in Peru. We slept in
Oh, my
because
Jesus.
we touched down at like midnight,
Yeah.
and then we had to turn. We touched down at midnight, because a certain person at the airline wanted to be,
A dickweed.
right. I had to check my dang on carry-on,
Yeah.
and my carry-on was smaller than 90% of the carry-on bags that went onto the plane.
Yep.
But because she was feeling, she was having lack thereof of what she was being.
I don't know if it was a lack of dick or she
Or
just
she
was
was just
being
being a twat. She was
Yeah.
just being a twat for no reason.
Her and Alisha
And-
with the twat for no reason.
and made me check my bag. And so we ended up having to wait for my luggage to come. So that took like an extra 20 minutes. Then we had to figure out the situation with the taxi driver.
Gosh, the taxis.
And those taxi drivers in Peru are so aggressive.
They are so
If you don't get
aggressive.
out of my face, we done told y'all like 11
Wait,
times.
Wait, they was on translating apps trying to talk to us in English
Like-
and trying to ask us if we wanted a ride, and we're like, no.
But the bad thing about it is that we were saying no, and no means no in any language, and it was like, well, not in any language, but in their language, no means no.
And they understood
And they
no.
understood no,
But they was like,
still,
nah.
right? Like you don't know
I
what
think
you're
you
talking
need.
about.
I think you
Like, we
need
don't know
this.
what we talking about.
I think you need this. Like some kind of rapist. Like, nah, I'm straight. I don't want to. Nah, you really do. You saying no, but you want it.
Right.
And so we were, we had a time with that. But because we're women, I feel like they were more aggressive.
They were more aggressive because we were women. Because there were men standing out there too.
Yeah.
And the men would be like, no. And they would walk away from the men and be like, all right.
They came up to us about 4 times. And and one time I was just like, nah, no. And then they would kind of back off, but sometimes they weren't.
Yeah.
They were just like, nah, you don't know what's good for you.
Why one dude was like, when you said no, he was like, all right, but if you still need it. She said no. What you mean? We still need it.
We still need it. Crazy. But being black and abroad, one of the things I think that is super hard is you constantly deal with you being where we went to. We were always the darkest two people. And
facts on
like
facts.
darky 1, darky 2. That's how it was going.
Except for the
Brazil.
tour we did in Brazil.
Because in Brazil, they have a culture where they had Africans come in as slaves, like America. And it was girls in there who I was like, oh, I know that girl. She worked at the call center. I know exactly who that is. But she was Portuguese. And so it was, she was Brazilian. So it was weird. But being the darkest two almost all of the time, especially in South America, I felt like we kind of had to fend for ourselves because people would look at us and be like, foreigner. You, foreigner. And I'm like, okay.
I didn't really necessarily feel like we had to fend for ourselves because we were foreigners. I felt it was more so because they just didn't want to be bothered with us.
Yeah.
And because it was other people that you can point out that were doing, like, when we did the tours in Peru, there were other people that were foreigners that you could tell they were foreigners, but because they had the same skin complexion, they were much more prone to walk up to them with a smile on their face and be nice and assist them. But, I think that a lot of people, because of how America portrays black women, that they automatically assume that we have attitudes and that we are not easy to get along with and that we're just rude. But and I find that when people talk to us, they're like, oh, you guys are so nice. So when people say, oh, you guys are so nice, to me, that's a signal, that's a sign that's like, oh, so the first initial thought that they had was that we were going to be rude.
Right.
So I think that we are dealing with a lot of stereotypes that when we go to visit other places, we're dealing with that. People overcoming those stereotypes that they already have of us.
I think that a lot of times when you are, I don't feel like we were the number one suspects for attack. Like, I always felt like, the way we carried ourselves, the way we walked, that people weren't coming up to us trying to get over on us and steal stuff from us. But I do feel like, learning the language was something we really should have done before we got there. And that extra knowing the language, even a little bit, would have helped us a lot. I think that when people see us, I don't know if they think African or American, but when we start talking, then they get which one we are. And so, I don't know, being black and being abroad, you have to remember you're a woman. You got to remember that you're black. And you also have to remember that, you're somewhere where you're not necessarily always welcome. That's the way I feel about it. But do I care about being welcome? No.
In her pro-black outfit.
Thank you.
She gonna kick down the door.
Thank you. I'm gonna go wherever I want to. I do feel like being in Peru was a different experience because we definitely didn't see anybody our shade or close to our shade.
Not at all.
And when I did clock black people, I was like, are they black? Are they black? Are they black? No, they not. They just dark. They ain't black. But in Brazil, I was clocking. I was like, oh, black woman. Oh, black woman. Oh, black woman. I was so excited because I was clocking people who were, us. And it's something comforting when you see somebody who looks like you in a strange place. Mm-hmm. It feels so freaking good. Now, granted, a lot of times, or most of the times, the people who I was clocking weren't necessarily American.
But they were still dark.
But they still were black.
Right.
You can see the African. I can see the African in them. I saw it.
And they were nice, though. They were nicer than the regular Brazilian. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, the girl on the bus, when we got on the bus, she was super nice. had a little smile on her face, and then she also was like, "Oh, I like your hair." I don't know.
Yeah, the darker Brazilians were kinder to us than the whiter Brazilians, and I noticed that at the hotel. Did you notice that they weren't really necessarily friendly?
I did notice that when we walked in, and then it was
They
like,
kind of was like,
it was like once they figured we
that
had
we
some
were
type
staying
of and that
there.
we had some type of money, they were a little bit nicer.
It was like, I guess they were like, who are y'all to stay up in here? Because when I tell you Brazilians look like black people, they look like legit black people. They look like us. And so we walk up in there and they're like, oh, do you know how much it is? And we're like,
yeah.
No, I said, no, how much is it? And he was like, oh, it's 13 or 1,500 reais. And I was like, how much is that in US? And he was like, it's 200 something. I was like, oh, okay, let's do that. Like, what? You talking $200? Let's go.
Like,
and he's like,
really?
He's like, is that okay? I'm like, yeah. And I was like, Alisha, you want to pay? You want me to pay? Which one? Because we both got it. Like, and then he was like, oh, okay, well, we'll get someone to get your bags and we'll do this and we'll do that. Like, oh, so now you want to be my friend.
Nice.
Okay. Like, I ain't coming to Brazil with no money, honey. Like, you say 1,500 reais, I got it. Like, do you know our exchange rate?
Thank you.
We balling.
We balling. Shoot, this ain't Europe. We over here balling.
Girl, because you take, we were telling somebody, you take $400 US dollars to Europe, they give you like 10 pounds. Like, here you go. That is all the money that you're getting. To Brazil and Peru, we coming out like, we got
balling. Stack on stack on stack. we out here. What you talking about? That ain't nothing.
Yeah, I'm out here. I'm a spend it.
Shoot. We throwing money. What you talking about?
Oh, you silly.
Yes. We was living our best life.
Girl, you would think that we was for real balling. But, yeah, you know, being black and abroad, it can be done. You don't have to necessarily be scared. A lot of people are like, oh, you got to be scared. You got to be scared. No, you don't. You don't have to let fear rule you. And the people who robbing you look like you. They ain't trying to rob you because they think you ain't got nothing.
Exactly.
So, they don't think you got nothing.
Exactly.
The darker you are there in Brazil, the poorer they assume that you are.
That is true.
And so we like some of the darkest people up in there. They like, nah, not them. Not them. We got to get them light-skinned ones over there.
Right.
And so we were cool. But I'm saying that just to say, don't be afraid. Get out there. Go do it.
Live your life.
Yes. Explore the world. The world is huge.
It's beautiful.
You can see so many beautiful things if you just get out there and do it. Yeah, it is. So am I. And you too, Alisha.
Thank you.
So that brings us to the end of our wonderful episode. Thank you for sticking with us, even though we had a brief hiatus for our vacation. And you know, if you want to find us, you can find us. You can find us on Instagram at
We Ain't Perfect, sis.
On Instagram. You can find us on, you can email us at our Hotmail address at
We Ain't Perfect. Is it sis?
Yes.
We Ain't Perfect, sis.
At hotmail.com. And if you can't remember anything like that, remember us on our website, which is
We Ain't Perfect, sis. And YouTube, We Ain't Perfect, no apostrophe.
And no sis on YouTube. But check us out. You can find us. And don't forget to enter into our wine giveaway, which will happen at the end of April. You'll see stuff about it. We'll post about it. And we hope to see so many people subscribing.
Make sure you subscribe, because you will not enter the contest unless you subscribe to our YouTube channel and put your name at the bottom in the comment section. So make sure you do subscribe and put your name in the comment section. Make sure you do those two things. If you don't do nothing else.
Make
sure you do those two things.
Those two. You ain't got to do nothing else.
Nothing else but those two things.
Lastly, we want to remind you that
we love you.
That Jesus loves you.
And we're out.
Bye, guys. Why do I want to do
dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again, try again. till I see what this could be. Could be eternity or just a week. Yo, our chemistry is off the chain. It's perfect now, but will it change? This ain't a yes, this ain't a no. Just do your thing, we'll see how it goes. First you don't succeed, yeah. Dust yourself off and try again. And dust it off and try again, try again. First you don't succeed, you can dust it off and try again. Dust yourself off and try again, try again. You don't wanna throw it all away. I might be shy on the first day. What about the next day? I said you don't wanna throw it all away. You bugging on the first day. What about the next day?